Hello, it's Billy again, and I'm back. And last video, I began a story about the first time I was arrested, and a quick little recap on that. I was in a stolen car driving around Milwaukee doing stupid stuff with half-naked girls, hitting garbage cans, stealing gasoline, having a gay old time, just doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And the police saw us, whipped the shitty, followed us. We all hopped out, started running except for one person. He got stuck in the car. And the police jumped us. They got us. They took us. They abducted us with handcuffs in the back of squad cars. And that's where the story left off. So, me being 13 in the back of this squad car, 14, however old I was, roll into the police station, and I still just thought it was fun and games, right? I was laughing. They put me in the back of the squad car with my friend, and we're back there having a conversation, laughing about it, talking. And that was just not... it didn't really dawn on me that I was getting arrested. I wasn't worried about it. I was like, I'm 13, I'm not going to get in trouble. Big deal, right? So roll into the police station, and I'm like, man, these seats are really uncomfortable, because if you've ever been in the back of a squad car, they've got plastic back seats, at least in Milwaukee. I don't know about everywhere. And man, what a terrible idea. And we had plastic seats, and they didn't even give us like a seatbelt. Like, we weren't strapped in, so every time we went around a turn, you would just slide across the car. It was different, because you're sliding on your hands. It just sucked. That's why I don't ever want to get arrested ever again. It's just because of plastic seats. They're terrible. So I pull up to the police station, you go around the back, and you drive through this big garage door and go underground, right? And they pull my friend Steve out of the car first, right? And they tell me to stay in the car. Like, you stay in the car. So I'm in the car. They pull him out, bring him inside. And I'm in the car by myself for like 15 minutes. All of a sudden, they come over, they pull me out of the car, and they start giving me a hard time. They're like, they're saying like, oh, they said you stole the car. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? That car's not stolen, and I'm just lying out of my asshole at these people. It's like, this guy, what? I didn't even know the car was stolen. I'm just telling it to them all the time. They're like, they say they call you Billy the Kid, and you're stealing cars, and you do graffiti. And I'm like, you guys are pulling my leg right now. And I knew they were messing with me, because I knew none of the people I went there with, first off, would ever tell them that they call me Billy the Kid, because they didn't at the time, and still don't. Some people think it's funny to call me that, but that's not what they call me. But that's what they did. They kept hassling me about it, saying that I did this, and eventually they bring me inside, and they handcuff me to this railing, right? There's a bench right across the hallway that they could have handcuffed me to the bench and I could have sat down, but no, handcuffed me to a railing on the opposite wall. So I just got to stare at this bench. And once again, my friend Steve was there, handcuffed to the same railing with me. And they left us there for like an hour and a half, staring at this bench. They were cruel police officers. They might as well just beat the shit out of us with their flashlights and just let me sit on the bench, because that would have been way, way better. Because at this point, I'd been awake for a long time. I was pretty tired. I was ready to just go to sleep. I was kind of tuckered out. But eventually they took the handcuffs off, and when you get arrested, they make you you have to give them anything and everything you have, and they take your shoelaces out of your shoes. So I had to walk around the police station with no shoelaces in my shoes. And if you've ever done that, you feel like a complete moron when you don't have shoelaces in. It's so hard to walk with no shoelaces in your shoes. So we're walking around. They're still giving us a hard time, calling me Billy the Kid and stuff. We go in. They do our fingerprints. Mugshot us, do the whole nine, and on the wall where there's the mugshot, because you take the picture looking forward, and you take that picture, and you're like, man, I gotta look serious, this is my mugshot, so you have your serious face on. And they tell you to turn and face the wall, so you have to turn left, and on the wall, there's a sticker that just says smile, and when you see that, you can't help but just smile, because it's just so ridiculous. So you just, so in my forward-facing mugshot, I have a completely serious look. In the side mugshot profile, I just got this big fucking grin on my face from looking at this sticker on the wall. It was, to this day, I still think it was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, was the smile mugshot sticker. But, so they take us and they put us, me, Randy, and Steve, the one guy, the Taylor guy, who was driving most of the time, who had actually acquired the stolen car, he was over 18, so they brought him downtown. He was getting seriously booked. Like, he was going to jail. He got released on bail or something. I've never seen that guy since then. Don't know anything that happened to him. But me, Steve, and Randy were sitting in this room with these chairs and no shoelaces or anything. Obviously no phones, no personal effects. We didn't have anything on us. And Randy fell asleep. He just passed out. And so me and Steve were in there, obviously talking under our breath, and we're like, man, we gotta work a story out right now. So we're talking to each other, figuring this out. We're like, tell him this, tell him that, tell him this, tell him that. Randy couldn't participate because he was asleep. And then once we thought we had everything all figured out, the chairs we were sitting on had like those ugly burgundy red cushion things, and the stuffing was kind of coming out of it. So we just were pulling the stuffing out of our chairs, and we were putting it in Randy's hair, is what we were doing. We were just, we filled his hair with chair stuffing. For some reason, we had nothing better to do, because we sat in this room for probably a good 3 hours. Met some other guy who was there for, like, vandalizing or something. Real cool guy. Never saw him again either, but he was a cool guy. But we're filling this dude's hair with just stuffing. And he just wouldn't wake up. Like, he probably had half a cushion full of stuffing on his head at one point. But eventually the police come in and they take us out and they put us into interrogation rooms where they question you and torture you and stuff. And they're doing the good cop, bad cop thing to me. The same thing they're doing outside, except one person's like, listen, we just want the truth. The other person's like, listen, Billy the Kid, we know what happened. So they're hassling me, trying to get me to tell this thing, the story. But me and Steve had worked out this whole story about how, we were just hanging out. His brother rolled up. The other guy was driving. We didn't know he didn't have a driver's license. We thought it was his car. We didn't know it was a stolen car. We ran because, we were 13 and they were like 17 and 18. So we're just like, oh, well, we gotta run. They're doing it. Peer pressure makes you run from the police, apparently, is what our excuse was. And then eventually they got done with that. They questioned us both at the same time, brought us out into the hallway again. And he's like, listen, we just want to, you guys just need to tell us the truth. And this cop was just trying to be so nice and cool to us. Like, some other cop walked past and he's like, walked past and he's like, that guy looked just like the Monopoly guy. Which was funny because the cop that walked past looked just like the Monopoly guy. Like, if he had a fucking monocle and a bag of money, he would have been on the cover of Monopoly. But we didn't tell him anything. So eventually the police were like, alright, well, we couldn't reach your parents, we're just gonna drop you guys off at home. This is like fucking 4 in the morning. They're just gonna drop me off at home? Like, what if I can't get in the house? And Randy stayed there because his parents hated him. So I don't know what happened to him. He got locked up or something for a little bit. But I get home, and right as I get dropped off, my fucking dad is getting home from the bar just drunk as shit. And he beat the piss out of me that night. And that's how that whole story ended for me. If you like the video, please leave a rating, and I upload daily, so feel free to subscribe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.